Hi, I'm Dr. Linda Mintle. Hey, thanks for listening to the Dr. Linda Mintle Show. Faith Radio podcasts are only possible because of your support. Thanks for giving and for sharing with a friend.
Doing life together, reaching out with hope, encouraging one another, each step along the road. You and I can make everything a little better, doing life together.
Well, hi, everyone, and welcome to the Dr. Linda Mintle Show. I'm your host, Dr. Linda Mintle, the relationship doctor, and I'm here along with my co-host, the other Dr. Mintle, my husband, Norm.
Ta-da!
And every weekend we are here, and we're doing life together, and we're so glad that you've joined us.
So, being a little more serious, Dr. Linda, I know that you're very concerned about an overfocus on our bodies in our culture today.
Oh, you just really changed topics there. You did. Okay.
I said, we're going for
You're
it.
right. You're right.
Yeah.
That's a topic I talk about a lot because of my background
That's right.
in treating people with eating disorders, particularly. Yeah.
Ours is a culture obsessed with perfection
Yes,
when
it
it comes
is.
to appearance. Think about it. Movie stars, social media influencers, sports icons. They're all so beautiful and made up and perfectly lit. And now with a little AI help, they're even better than they ever were before in real life.
That's true.
Perfect. So when we obsess, we compare ourselves with those images and others, and most often that ends up making us feel bad about ourselves because we think, well, I don't measure up to that. How could I? But you're going to tell us today that there can be an upside to paying attention to your body. That's new.
Yeah. So nicely said, by the way. But I want to say one thing, that even when you know these images aren't real, it still affects you negatively.
Of course.
So even knowing it
Yeah.
doesn't make it better, which is wild to me.
No, you're right. And I've seen stuff in social media and you go, well, that's clearly an AI picture. But wow, what a beautiful human being.
So it doesn't matter. Well, here's the deal. We're going to talk about how you can tune into your body today in a very positive way. And actually, by doing this, Norm, you can actually improve your mood.
Wow.
So the mind, the body, and the spirit are all connected. Sometimes a small physical change can make you feel better. For example, here's just a tiny little way you can do that. If you smile, and let's say you're even just going to force yourself to smile. Let's say you don't feel
You
good.
don't even mean it.
You don't even mean it. You're just going to force it. But if you do, that gives positive signals that go to your brain, and it makes you feel happy. So it actually boosts your mood.
Wait a minute, let me try. Oh,
better?
yeah, it works. I feel so much better.
We need a picture of that.
That's right.
We need that. This is when we need video.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, we thought it might be fun to focus on a few body sensations that can boost your mood. This is really interesting stuff to me. I've not heard this before. And I've lived with you for a very, very long time.
I know. This is a fun topic I just got into recently.
Well, but we know these are backed by research.
Yes.
So the first one is kind of crazy for me, but I know you demonstrated to your medical students, right? It has to do with holding a drink.
Yes. So this is so fun. So imagine you're meeting someone for the first time at a coffee shop,
Okay.
and they offer to buy you a cup of coffee.
Oh, nice.
Well, what happens if you order iced coffee versus hot coffee in terms of how you feel about that person?
I have no idea. I feel much cooler if I've got cold coffee.
Well, you're on the right track, because holding a cold drink makes you feel colder to people versus holding a hot drink, which makes you feel warmer to people. So there's a connection between the body sensation of that hot or cold that makes you feel a certain way towards that person. In fact, holding a hot drink can make you feel affectionate to that person, friendly, and even feel like you have some trust in them.
So it's about how I feel holding the cup, not how they feel to me.
No, because it's a body sensation that you're having. You're holding a cup that has heat or cold to it. And that sensation from your hand is signaling your brain into cold or warm thoughts.
So how does this work?
Well, this is because physical warmth and emotional warmth are just linked. So researchers at Yale University and the University of Colorado found that after holding a warm cup of coffee, they did this experiment.
Okay.
Participants were more likely to think the lab workers had warm personalities, and they felt more open to connect with them. So this has to do, Norm, with a certain structure in our brain called the insula. I'm not going to go into all of that and
Please,
what it
thank
is.
you.
Yeah, I know. It'll put our listeners to sleep, right? I love that stuff, but it would put you asleep. But what the insula does is it processes physical temperature and interpersonal warmth related to trust, empathy, and social emotions. So it's a part in our brain that processes all of that
Okay.
together.
So when people come to my office, I should offer them hot coffee so they feel better about me.
That's right. That's right. And the fun we have with this with medical students is I bring them up and I say, you're in the coffee shop and you want to date someone. Which one of these drinks are you going to buy for them?
Do they get it right?
They don't know. They don't know, but they do after the lecture.
Okay, so there's got to be a little bit more to this than just the temperature of the drink.
Well, actually, yes. So the thinking is that the temperature, the warmth, is also associated with good memories in your life.
Oh.
So think about that. Warmth is what you get in the womb.
Oh.
Actually, it should be comfort that you get from the people who raise you or caretakers or people that are your special people in your life, teachers, that kind of thing. Both warmth and safety are related to our cuddle hormone, which you might have heard of called oxytocin. So that hormone makes us feel like we're bonded to somebody. So when you feel warm, you feel safe, you feel good about the person, it releases this hormone in your body, and that's the hormone that makes you want to cuddle with someone, feel bonded to somebody.
Okay. So there's psychology and biology
Yeah,
going on here.
it's body,
I like
mind.
it. So when you get sick, you usually reach for a hot drink. Hot
Yeah.
drinks like hot tea make us feel better if we have a cold, for example.
right.
And when you make hot chicken soup like our moms always did when we got sick, good job, moms, for centuries probably.
Yeah, so I don't know if they knew the connection,
right?
but it works, right?
Yeah,
It works, right? And there's a little more science to why that is. So hot liquids also, though, Norm, expand blood vessels and they improve circulation. So this can lead to, then, muscle relaxation. So having a cup of hot tea can actually be relaxing.
Okay, so experiences of physical temperature can affect our impression of other people, even though we're not even aware of it. We're
That's
not
right.
conscious of it. That's great. So what's a second body sensation that can help me feel better?
All right, we're ready to move on from
Yep,
the temperature?
yep, I got
Okay,
that one.
So, all right. Most of us have to make a tough decision on something important in life, right? There are times we have to make a decision. And here's a surprise.
Okay.
All right. The type of chair you sit in could actually influence how you make that decision.
Oh, stop it.
No, it's true.
Really?
It's true. It's true.
Who thinks about what kind of chair you're going to sit in when you're going to make a tough decision? I mean, sometimes you don't even have a choice. How does that work?
I know. So this is really fun. So again, based on research, sitting in a hard chair can make you feel more rigid and less flexible.
Well,
so you
and
can say it makes you feel hard,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
right?
okay.
In a sense of rigid,
Right.
and not flexible. A softer chair can make you feel more relaxed and open. So your physical experience again is tied to your mood.
Okay, I'm trying to think through the implications here. So I'm thinking of the courtroom. There's a jury there. The chairs are hard. Bad news for the defendant.
I think so. I wonder if prosecutors or people go in there and they look at the chairs. I wonder if that's a thing.
Boy, that's a good question.
Just to where you're sitting, or think about the chairs in your classrooms and what's going on with that.
Or the chairs in an emergency room.
Yeah.
Wow.
In fact, someone studied this thing about the jury.
Yeah?
In a 2018 study, they found that people who sit in hard chairs give defendants harder sentences.
See, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, than those who sit in soft chairs. Again, the idea here is that we associate hard things with stability, but also with rigidity and strictness.
Sure, but we call Jesus the rock of our salvation. That's kind of hard.
Right.
Sorry.
No, but think about it, because what are they saying? Really, what are we saying about
we're saying
that
he's
rock?
secure, he's stable,
Yes.
he doesn't compromise on truth. But on the other hand, the Bible also refers to some people as hard-hearted, and that's not so good.
Yeah, so there's that both connotations, right? So the rock can be something that is stable. That's Jesus. But then you can have a hard heart, which means you're rigid and inflexible.
Okay.
So now I'm thinking of a lot of different things. Can you think of another one this would apply to?
So now I'm thinking of chair selections from a whole different perspective. What about when you're negotiating or arguing with your spouse? Does the science say that if you're in a hard chair, you're going to be less emotional and tough?
That's a good thought. And if, for example, you're negotiating a business deal,
Oh, yeah.
then buyers in soft chairs increase their offer by almost 40%
Oh, my.
than those in hard chairs, according to a study.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it seems that soft chairs make you more lenient, flexible, agreeable in making decisions. Hard chairs promote a more rigid and assertive decision-making style. So it's unconscious again because softness is associated with comfort and openness. Boy, we're going to think about that when we get a new car, whenever we get our next car.
No kidding.
We're going to look at the chairs.
But you know what? People ought to be paying attention to us because we're much warmer toward each other because we have new chairs in the studio.
Yeah, we do.
And they're softer.
And we feel better, don't we? We had these
Actually, they
hard
do.
chairs before, and now it's like,
You know, now that you're saying all of this, I'm putting it together.
yeah.
Okay.
It's crazy.
So moving on, tell me another one. Let me guess. It's about being close to water because I feel good about that.
Because we lived in Virginia
That's
Beach for
right.
so many years. We know this is a mood booster,
Mm-hmm.
being near water. Whether it's a lake, a stream, an ocean, water just has a way of reducing stress and improving your mood. It's calming.
It is, unless, of course, you're in a hurricane, which
we've
we've
been through.
also been
We've also been through that.
But there's something about being close to water and just sitting and enjoying it of peace and contentment. I know what you mean.
Yeah, well, this is one of the reasons for that is because it really involves all of the senses. So you're looking at it, you're hearing the sound of the waves. Sometimes you can touch the water, even smell
Sure.
the smell of the water from an ocean or lake. And we all have a natural sort of connection to water, again, since we were swimming around in our mother's womb, right? Yeah. It's a built-in pool for the first 9 months.
Right.
We're in it. And we know that water calms, reduces our heart rate. Nature is just good for our mental health.
And that's one of the reasons people pay so much money for
Yeah.
waterfront property. You know, realtors always say, God only made so much waterfront property. And even in ancient days, the Greeks sought out natural springs and baths to restore the mind and body. And spiritually, we always marvel at God's creation of that beautiful, beautiful place. So just to add a final biblical note, Jesus does refer to himself as living water.
Yeah, that's really good. So one researcher put it this way, Norm, said being near water versus being on a city street is about the same difference in happiness between doing household chores versus going out and socializing with friends.
Wow.
It's a big difference.
I think we can relate to that one.
Yeah.
Good reason to stay near water. Lots of people take time to meditate, too, when they're near the water.
That's true. A lot of people just go and sit, don't they? And they just kind of look at the water. And I think the movement of the waves is calming. It's rhythmic. You can focus on the beauty of God's creation. And, even the small reminders of the sound of the water moving, that sound is so nice. We have a water feature in our backyard, and it's very calming just to hear that.
It's soothing. You can go online and download sounds of the ocean to help you with relaxation and sleep. Okay,
that's good because not everybody can afford a water
That's true.
feature, so you could just go do it online.
Perfect.
All right.
So enough about water. I'm ready to go on to another one because I'm about ready to book a cruise and get out of here. Okay, this next one you really like because it goes back to nature.
Yeah, so it has to do with flowers. So similar to water, we love fields of flowers, beautiful landscaping in yards, or we love bringing nature into the home by buying or picking flowers. It just brightens up your space and it brightens your mood.
Remember in Italy when we drove by the huge fields of sunflowers?
Oh, it was beautiful.
It was the most amazing
Yeah.
sight.
And I've been to Holland, and I've seen those rows and rows of tulips.
right.
They're just stunning.
It's probably why flowers are sold on the corners of big urban cities that are loud and noisy, and people love the feelings that they get from them. They celebrate with someone. They give them as gifts at someone special. It helps impact their mood.
Well, think about it. A lot of times those buildings in cities, we've been in New York a lot of times. They don't have much window space.
Right.
They're dreary. They're dark. And then people bring these flowers in from the outside. I think that's one of the reasons why they're so cheap on the street, because you can bring them in and they can brighten up your your mood. And so we have a place where we can get flowers very cheaply where we live. And I know it brightens my mood. Mm-hmm. So I know it can be expensive to do this, but you can grow your own flowers. You can create a bouquet. You can bring them in. And studies show that less than 20 minutes with a plant can make you feel more at peace.
Is that why people talk to their plants?
Well, I don't think that's related, but listen to this. In one experiment, participants who spent even 5 to 10 minutes in a room with a few houseplants felt happier and more satisfied than those in a room without plants. So then here's one more study. Participants felt more peaceful and positive about spending 15 minutes in a room close to a tall plant. So they define that as above 5 feet compared with other objects.
We better keep our fiddle figure
I
alive.
know, we finally got that thing to grow.
He's finally happy. I like
Took
him
forever. We killed a few on
now.
the
They're
way.
finicky. So it's not just flowers, but indoor plants. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's another study I found that around 5 plants in a home can increase positive emotions. I think the bottom line is that plants, flowers, the way they look, they smell, they feel in a room, they boost our mood. We love the greenery in our home and always have, and now I know why.
Yeah.
How about that? Okay. More to come on body sensations that improve your mood when we come back after this quick break. More on the Dr. Linda Mintle Show. Stay with us.
Okay, let's be honest. There are times when we eat just because life is tense, or the kids are driving you crazy, or we feel anxious or insecure about a relationship with a friend or a spouse, right? Food might just be too available, or I can't help myself, or it feels so good to dive into the ice cream sundae. We have a million excuses, but the truth is, sometimes we just eat out of emotion, not need. You know, it happens to all of us. So how do we fix the problem? Well, here's a quick prescription, and it begins with press pause. If you follow this simple plan, you can say goodbye to mindless eating and hello to the joys of eating. When you press pause, you slow down and begin to listen to your body. Am I truly hungry? What's going on around me that makes me want to put something in my mouth? So here's how to pause. We're going to spell it out. The P stands for purpose. Purpose to delay immediate gratification. Then the A stands for attend. Attend to the moment, but also be mindful of the future and how your immediate decision might be the one you regret later. Next is the U. Understand that your good intentions and even your willpower don't win the impulsive eating battle. You need a healthy dose of God help. Then the S, strategize. Find ways to incorporate God's help. You invite the Holy Spirit to work within you, and you'll discover His strength to improve your self-control. And then finally, the E, execute those changes. So to eat without emotion, press pause before you eat. Hi, I'm Dr. Linda Mintle of the Dr. Linda Mintle Show.
And I'm Dr. James Cribbs, and we co-authored a book, Living Beyond Pain.
If you're one of the 100 million people suffering from chronic pain, this is a book for you, Living Beyond Pain, in stores now.
Welcome back to the Dr. Linda Mintle Show. Here's a quick reminder. You can follow Dr. Linda on her social media, X and Instagram, at Dr. Linda Mintle, and on her Facebook page, Dr. Linda Mintle, author and speaker. You can also hear our podcast on myfaithradio.com or any of your favorite platforms. Whichever one you like, Google Dr. Linda Mintle Podcast, and you're going to find us, or just go straight to myfaithradio.com.
Yeah, that's the easy way to find it.
It is. So today we're talking about a very interesting, fascinating, and I've never heard of topic before, body sensations that make me happy or boost my mood.
That's because it's been unconscious. It's been happening all your life and you just didn't know it.
Oh, yeah. I think you're right. We have a couple more ideas we want to talk about that are based in science that Dr. Linda is going to prescribe for us all.
So what we're talking about, Norm, is all this research that shows that what you touch, what you see, things that you experience with your senses affect your mindset and your attitude. So that's the connection. Body, mind, and spirit. It's all connected.
Tied together, right.
Yeah. And this is not something we normally think about, like I said, but if you're a little down and your mood needs a little bit of a boost, any of the things that we're talking about in today's show could help you make you feel a little bit better.
Right. And if you know someone who needs a mood booster,
yeah, buy in
send
some
this along.
flowers. Bring them in. Bring them a plant.
Buy them some flowers and
Take
get
'em on
them
a
to listen
ride.
to the podcast.
Take them on a ride to water. We got lots of ideas you could do to help. Right.
Okay, this next one you're going to give us is no surprise if you're a regular listener of the program.
Yeah, that's because we often talk about in relationships, the importance of this one, and that is new experiences and the impact that novelty has on the brain. So if you try something new, and it can be something really, really small, it stimulates your brain and increases your mood. So a new hobby, tasting a new food. I mean, that's not a big thing. Just try something different that you've never tasted. Driving a different way to church. We did that. We tried a different way to church. It was novel.
Not because we wanted to.
Yeah, it was
because we were
there was
blocked off.
We were blocked off, but it was novel.
It affected my mood all right.
Yeah, well, that one didn't have the boost that we were hoping because we missed, I think, the first 35 minutes
right.
of church.
It was crazy.
But if we just decided, one time you just decided, I'm going to try a different way, and we went a different way. So that's a novel experience. Any of those, anything that you do out of your routine that's new is going to stimulate the brain.
Good. And like you said, they don't have to be huge, grand gestures or big adventures to get your mood boost. Something simple like, how about tasting a new fruit at the farmer's market? Would that work?
Yeah, it would. You know, sometimes we go past the fruit place and I go, what's that?
Right.
It's like something I've never seen. Like, I don't think I've ever, maybe I have tasted star fruit, but I don't think I have.
Passion fruit?
Passion fruit I have, but I don't know about that star fruit. And then there's another one that
Papaya?
ugly fruit or something. I don't know. I've tasted papaya. All right. So here's the thing. New information inspires the brain to wake up.
Okay.
It wakes it up and it triggers that feel-good neurotransmitter dopamine.
Okay.
And dopamine, we all have heard probably somewhere, sometime in our life that's the
On this
pleasure. Yeah, that's the pleasure and reward, right? We're
Right,
talking about
right.
pleasure and reward. So when you do something novel, new neural pathways are created, which lead to growth, and that leads to what we call cognitive flexibility, which is a good thing.
Those
and
are
it's a
good
good
things.
thing towards your mood.
Right. And if we can learn more by stimulating our brain, that's going to boost our mood. Seems like the lack of novelty is one of the reasons that couples, talking about relationships, get bored with each other. They fall into their routines, but trying something new is going to be good for your relationship and your mood. You get a double one.
That's right. And so somewhat related to this novelty is kind of what you're starting to talk about, and that's mixing up your day. So routines, like we mentioned, are good. They're good for certain things. Like a routine to go to sleep is really good. Going to sleep at the same time, having a bedtime routine cues the brain, now we're going to sleep. Okay. So that's a good routine. But then if you fall into routines where you just, get up, you go to work, eat, you go sit in front of the television.
Right.
That is a routine, like you mentioned, that can lead to a lot of boredom.
So variety is the spice of life?
You got it. Whoever came up with that, I don't know if they knew the neuroscience, but that's exactly what it is. Research suggests that introducing variety into your daily routine can lead to more happiness and satisfaction. So whether it's switching up your lunch, trying a different exercise routine, finding something new to try, a little variety can go a long way to prevent boredom and actually create a sense of joy. Just it keeps life interesting and your mood is going to follow.
When I think of mixing things up, I think about things like volunteering my time for some needy project or working at church or working in the community. We know that people always get a mood boost when they help feed the hungry or do services for the elderly or donate to give to the poor. It's biblical. It has the added benefit of making you better because it takes your focus off yourself.
Yeah. And it's variety. It's not something that you're doing on a routine
Right,
basis. So the last one may surprise you, Norma. I know we're getting kind of close to the end here, but movement, this is not actually going to surprise you because we
Not gonna
talk a lot
surprise
about
me.
exercise.
You talk about it all the
I know I
time.
do, but it does wonders for your mind. If you need new ideas, listen to this. Creativity, walking helps your brain make new connections. And when you're walking, you become more creative.
Okay.
You need to take all your film students and just walk them around
That's a
and
good
talk.
idea.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so I'm wondering if this is because how movement stimulates our brain. If we think about it, you're walking, you're seeing things, you're experiencing, you're feeling. It gives your ideas new legs.
Oh, nice one. Okay, and finally, a little bit familiar to most of us is just gratitude. Gratitude is a mood booster. It's based on the biblical idea of giving thanks, looking for the good in someone or in a situation. That boosts your mood. We don't have to look too far because we know that God is good all the time, right?
All the time.
And every perfect gift comes from Him.
So as we wrap up today, it's been invigorating actually for me to learn that God created our bodies with connections to our mind and spirit. I knew that part. I just didn't know how easy it was to stimulate my mood.
Yeah. So pay attention to these simple body sensations that you can create, incorporate them into your daily life, and see if your mood improves. We don't always think about how we are wired holistically, but God knows what He was doing when He created these easy connections to make us feel better. Renew your mind, stay strong in the spirit, and pay attention to those body sensations. Well, that's all the time we have today. Many thanks to my co-host Norm Mintel, who makes the show a conversation, and our technical producer Wan Jing Pu. I said it right.
You did.
Yeah. And our editor, Katie Sims Wilson. We've got a new person joining our team, and we're really thrilled she's here. From all of us here at Faith Radio, hey, we'll talk to you again next weekend. In the meantime, remember, we're doing life together, and it's better when you don't have to do it alone.
Doing life together.
Hey, thanks for listening to this conversation from the Dr. Linda Mintel Show. These conversations are available because of your support. Become a supporter now at myfaithradio.com. Please subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any episodes, and share it with friends so we can live life to the fullest, walk confidently, and find healing and hope.